Hi. Do your delts suck? Do you wish that you had big, round, 3D delts that pop through any fucking shirt that you wear? Or just look great without a shirt on? Good. I'm here to help. My name is Seth Feroce, and we're gonna teach you how to have fucking nasty delts. So get ready. Shoulders used to be one of my worst body parts. Chest and legs were my body parts. So whenever I was like 19, 20 years old, those were the ones that were developing the best on me. But shoulders I just didn't have that fucking round, that pop off the fucking edge of my shoulder look. And it kind of pissed me off because whenever you look at the magazines of Flex and MD, I'd see just, these guys, is it the steroids? What do I gotta do to get there? A bad thing that happened, which ended up turning into like how I got my massive, great deltoids. Dunking a basketball, I dislocated my hand and broke the ulna and radius in my arm. And from that, I got put in a cast. I was at college, I was being fucking Mr. Ego. I went up to dunk a basketball. I grabbed with my left hand and slammed with my right hand, and then I ended up like, legs were flying, and then I landed on my hands, like on my face, and this hand went boop, popped up. I was in a cast, and it fucked it all up, and I couldn't do anything but legs and shoulders, but I couldn't do any pressing. So I sat in the side delt machine and just did fucking sides every day. I either did 30 sets of sides or I did legs. Probably about 6 weeks, and then I got super frustrated and then fixated a piece on my cast so I could actually do some pressing and have no pressure on my wrist. From that, that's where some of my philosophies were generated on volume. And from that, I realized that I started filling up with blood. I was able to feel the muscle group. I got much better mind to muscle connection with my shoulders, doing them unilaterally. One, I'd be over here, I'd hold it, like a static hold at the top, or load the shit out of the weight, and then just get a couple reps, and then like the range of motion would be less, but I would still continuously feel blood rushing to that area, even though I wasn't getting that full range of motion. So that's how a lot of my philosophies were generated. I was like, hey, my shoulders got so much better in this short period of time than they did for years of training leading up to that. So I was on to something. Now the frequency side of things, I just kept hitting them over and over and over because I was fucking crazy and I just wanted to get bigger shoulders. Shoulders really never got too sore. So I was like, I can beat the shit. They didn't get sore like my legs or my back or my chest would get sore. My front delts would get tender, but my side delts, it feels like I could do side delts almost every day. So even like you can't train legs every other day, you fucking smoke. I could with shoulders. It was just something that I started to realize. Now, does that go with science? No. This is a bro science concept. This is anecdotal experimentation, and I built one of my best body parts that I am known for today is my shoulders. And it came from that point in my life. And from that, I just continuously learned my body. And that's why I always say, everybody, go learn as much as you can. So, okay, building a shoulder workout. I personally believe that if you are trying to get better shoulders, a three-dimensional round shoulder that is striated and not just a fucking mound of tissue. Like there's guys with huge delts, but you don't see them fucking striated. I think that the volume plays a role there. That separation of the muscle, role is played with the volume side of things. It has to be because I have so much, my entire physique that is separated as fuck is all based on that concept of volume. So I'm not saying throw all inhibitions out the window and do fucking quarter reps for everything, but I am saying you need to have a mix of it all. And that's what we're gonna go through today. On shoulders or on any actual muscle group that I'm training, I have a warm up. I never started my workouts until I had a little bit of a sweat rolling. I do not believe in a fucking cold start. I think that's a horrible idea. Even if you're fucking crammed for time, you should always take at least 10 minutes to warm up. Lube the fucking body up and wake it up, especially if you're gonna go hard as fuck. If you're a bodybuilder or aspiring to be one, amateur, professional, whatever the fuck you are, or you're going after a hard workout, do not go in cold. You're out of your fucking mind, and I don't care how young you are. You gotta lube it up a little bit. Warm it up. I have my warm up with my bands, the fucking Dr. Jake, Dr. Bubba, the Y's, the T's, the I's, get them shoulders going, because I just want to wake my body up. I'm going to make sure that there is blood moving to that specific muscle group that I'm training that day, so that way I get a good connection. First set of my first exercise, I actually have, the sweat going. I actually feel everything. I'm ready to go, going first fucking rep, connection. I'm fucking in it. I'm ready to go. I'm not like, after my third set, whether it's all warm-up sets or two warm-ups and a top set, I'm not like, after my first set, I'm starting to feel my shoulders. No, 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 no. We want to be lubed and ready to fucking go. And I attest that to my physique, taking a non-stim pre-workout. Hydraulic has always been my shit. It's non-stim. We're going to push blood to that muscle group, get nice and full and get the fucking feeling and ready to go. It's that fun part. That's the fun part of training. I like to start every single workout, every single one of my shoulder workouts with sides. Why? I personally, because of that fucking thing that happened with my wrist, believe that you can't do 3 or 4 sets of sides and expect your side delts to look like fucking bowling balls. That's not enough. You gotta do more. In the beginning, you need to be able to rip through at least 4 working sets. There's workouts that I have where I did 6 fucking sets of dumbbell side laterals with a last set of running the rack. Fucking ton of energy goes in there, and you'd see me rip off my fucking pump cover and my shoulders are just rounder than a motherfucker. Well, yeah, you just did all that to him. Great, now I'm ready to go to fucking presses. And I'm gonna rip through presses. And then after presses, I'm gonna go into front delt raises. Whether it's cables, easy bar, dumbbells, whatever the fuck I'm doing, and then I'm gonna make sure I'm hitting rears. I might do bent over rear delt raises. Then after that, I might work into some upright rows and then some shrugs. I'm going to make sure in my head, whenever I'm doing this, whenever I'm building this out, it is the silhouette is what I'm thinking of. Okay, let's start with that. Your fucking tiny little head, the traps, fucking delts. And it's almost like through that silhouette, you can see the depth of the fucking body. And then if the silhouette starts to become more of a person, whenever you see it, you want to see that it's not just a modge podge of muscle. You see that it's detailed into the fucking shoulder. You see the shoulder, and then all of a sudden you see the fucking striations of the delts. And you can see the separation of the front delt, the chest into the front delt, into the side delt, and the rear delt just pushing over the top from behind on that side delt. So that's what's going through my head whenever I'm trying to do all this. And how do you build such a high quality physique like that? You can't just throw weight around, or you can't just do a few exercises and expect to build this incredible statuesque silhouette and this statuesque physique. You have to add some detail to it, and how would you do that? And in my head, I was like, okay, so if I know volume is a thing, I can't just be a pussy. Whenever I say volume, I don't mean like, oh, look, I'm doing lightweight. No, motherfucker, you gotta move some weight too. It's gonna be moderate to heavy with that moderate repetition range, but then also increase the weight, drop the reps a little bit from set to set, kind of find those sweet spots for each one, and then be like, cool, now I'm gonna do a strip set at the end to add that intensity and push even harder. So you might start out here with like the 30s and then cut the weight in half and double the reps, like a Seth set. Add that intensifier to really say, I'm still making sure my shit's strong, I'm not a pussy, but then also be like, I'm going to build this well-developed, mature, stripped out physique from the bro science concept here, not so much of the science and over-analyzing every single fucking thing. We're just building a sculpture, your physique, your artwork. First movement, I start with side raise, dumbbell side raise, because I'm able to move up into that heavier weight. But what I was getting at was, I will finish with another side raise. I will finish with some type of cable exercise. So I might do 4 to 6 sets here with a fucking nasty strip set. And then at the end of my workout, I might be like, cool, I'm gonna go hit 2 more sets and really focus. I might get a little bit of a lean into it so I get a bigger stretch and come up a little higher, because if I get a good lean into it, a good stretch, and just squeeze the fuck out of my side delt that I just beat the shit out of this entire workout, so to get that hard, nasty, grainy, stripped out look. That's what's going on in my head. So I might do in one workout, motherfucker, there might be 10 sets of sides. And a lot of people would be like, that's dumb, Seth. And be like, cool, great. But that's some pretty nice fucking delts. I don't give a fuck what any science person says. I love the fucking intensifier. So, I'm gonna do the 60s for as many as I possibly can. The range of motion towards the end is gonna die. I'm gonna push my fucking self to failure, and I'm gonna cut the weight in half, so 60s down to the 30s, and then do twice the reps. And even if I'm getting fucking 5 half reps with them, them are still fucking reps in my head, so I still gotta get double the reps there. But again, even if the range of motion dies, I'm exhausting the muscle, and it's one of those things that you gotta find that happy medium between exhausting the muscle and not risking injury. So again, it's just these levels to it all. But put on good tune, let it rip, and don't be a fucking pussy. See, that's what I mean. The fucking feather quality. You see the side, how round, front side, the rear delt. Even though being big as fuck is awesome. But as a bodybuilder, you want it to be your sculpture. So it's up to you on how you build it and what you want it to look like. So whenever I see people doing 1 or 2 sets on sides and I look at their delts and they're not feathered, I don't just rack it up into genetics. I'm also like, well, your training style and you got fucking huge within a year. Like, I don't know if the quality of muscle was there as well. Again, even working with Ty, like right now in the push that he's on right now, we're developing that quality of muscle. And he's like, I've never been this round, this full, and feel like I'm coming to life during my workouts. Because now I'm like, whenever I take off my pump cover and I fucking see it, I was like, look, I feel like I'm like an action figure. Okay, presses. I love Smith presses, dumbbell presses. I do like shoulder machines. I don't hate the hammer. However, I use it much more seldomly than I would a Smith machine or a barbell press or dumbbell press. Now, if I'm doing a barbell press, I'm only gonna do a couple sets of sides first. Just because barbell gets a little dangerous, especially if you're starting to push some fucking weight. You better have your shit together if you're going over there and putting 185 above your head. Or 225, 275, 315, yacked out of my mind eating 2 anadraws before a workout. Blood flying everywhere, it was awesome. If you're going to do heavy dumbbell presses or heavy barbell presses, you're gonna use a lot more other muscle groups, let's say, because you're gonna need the stabilizer muscles. So I would only do a couple sets of side laterals. Whereas if I was doing a Smith machine or some type of machine press where I'm able to just really focus on the overall development of my front delts, working into the sides, I'm able to just really get a strong, heavy press, I can go rip through all those. Now that's from a very general standpoint. You can still do lighter dumbbell presses and lighter barbell presses. It's just very general. Love dumbbell presses. I am a huge advocate for dumbbell presses with a very, very high incline, but not straight up and down on the bench. Seated dumbbell shoulder presses were a massive builder in my shoulder development as a young pro. With Hani, he was very big on dumbbell presses for shoulders. But one of my all-time favorite shoulder machines is the Total Shoulder by Paramount. I will get one day. You're gonna see it happen. It's hard to say that one exercise of some type of shoulder is better than another. Because like I said, whenever I was coming up, Hani was very big on dumbbell shoulder presses, and I was like, fuck yeah, dude, it helped develop my delts into what they are. But then, like my philosophy as I got older, into the 2016, 2017, whenever I fucking really, it was like the next phase of my physique that I developed. This concept of like a lot more sides and some type of more of a machine press, and my shoulders got even better. So it's hard to say one way is better than the other. What I personally believe, and I say this in every fucking video, you got to figure out what's best for you, and that's going to take time. So you can't just look for the quick answer of what's the best thing to do. You got to experience it all. Because as I'm sitting here looking, I'm back into training pretty hard. The appendix is good. I'm deadlifting later this week. When I'm looking at it, it's like I'm still analyzing what's going on. And this is when you're like, cool, this is what I get to come and develop, and what I feel good about myself. That's why we go home and tell our wives about, or girlfriends about all the cool shit we did at the gym, and they're like, they're interested but not. But we still tell them because it's awesome, because we're proud of what we're building. So Smith presses, total shoulder by Paramount, and then dumbbell presses. And I personally like straight up and down. If I'm straight up and down, I'll have a little bit of an arch in my back whenever I'm like, I already have the arch in my back and can brace myself better here. So I really like this angle on the incline press for shoulders. Next, some type of rear delt exercise or a front delt exercise. And I think that depends on what sucks on you. So that way you have a little bit more oomph, because also it's empty right there. Demo day, you should take your demo day. Intra-workout carbohydrate, rapid glycogen loader that just fucking rushes all the carbohydrates into your muscles so you can stay swole and not shit the bed in your workout. Use code AIDEN for 10% off, 20% off. Maybe 20% off for a day or two whenever you get this, you might never know. So we're gonna do front raises. So with front raises, you can either do dumbbell, plate raises, barbell, easy bar, two-handed cable through the legs. On a shoulder workout, I think it's super important to have fucking good tunes on in your ears and just stay focused. I got good lighting, fucking delts are out, and I'm coming up and I'm gonna squeeze. But I think right here, like right where the top of the dumbbell is just right at eye level. That's where I noticed I'm getting this fucking great squeeze. Yeah, never up here, okay? Why? Because I personally think that the sweet spot was the top of the dumbbell being eye level with me, because I would get pretty heavy with them. Now I'm not like, maybe a couple times. There's times whenever I would be doing the front delts with the 55s or the 60s, yacked out of my mind years ago, where I'm fucking, and I'm getting a good squeeze because I want to see the feather. I want to see all the nasty fucking shit come to life in there and fucking look cool. If I was in an off season, getting thick. But whenever I'm training, I'm going on, a cut or getting ready for a fucking show, I'm nasty as fuck. Too high. I mean, I could still feel the tension, but it just didn't feel like I was getting the same effect that I did here. So in my head, that was optimization. I'm up here, I can feel it. I'm not raising a fucking dumbbell that high, because I also believe that too light of a weight for this long is fucking pointless. Because I want to get the 10 pound or the 15 or the 20 pound dumbbell up this high. Like, no, that's dumb in my opinion, because I have all this wasted here on a light weight just to get this top. I don't believe in just doing like, one style that dumbbells are better than barbells or better than plate raises or better than this, because you can make any of them intense. When I'm here, I'm bringing it up to eye level, right? We're at eye level. Now look at this. This is too high. What the fuck am I doing? I would lean over, make my chest almost parallel with the ground, and then I would, if I'm here, stand straight up. Now that's where my arm is. So all I'm doing is hinging at the waist. So I'm doing cables and squeezing the fuck out of my upper delt, or out of my front delt. That getting that dumbbell above eye level, I was like, fuck all that shit, because I'm wasting it here. But having constant tension from this point here, different angles to hit your front delt, your side delt, your rear delt, whichever one. You have to play with all of these different exercises and not be afraid to do so, even if you do get criticized or somebody says something. But there's a bunch of different ways to handle a certain body part. For front delts, dumbbells. Fucking love them. This is where the science and I don't agree. We're trying to sculpt your physique into something that somebody may have never seen before. And if we all just did the most perfect quintessential thing and everybody's so prototypical perfect, we all look the fucking same. But we don't. And that's what makes this all so beautiful. So, front delt raises with the dumbbells, barbell, plate raises, two-handed plate raises, or cables. It's up to you. You're supposed to have fun with it. But again, I put this in your third exercise or your fourth exercise. You didn't even get into hand placement on these, and that plays a role as well because of physics. I just keep this neutral grip. It also changes if you turn your wrist over. Where I grab the dumbbell. If I grab it on the back side and I go up, it's gonna feel a little bit differently than if I grab all the way up and lift up. These are those little inches in a workout that can make a difference as you progress in your training, because you'll just feel it a little bit differently. Does that feel make that much of a difference? Maybe it does for you, maybe it doesn't. But I believe personally, if you're having a body part and you're trying to be the best that you can, you need to pay attention to every single little detail in there just to see. But again, that's as you continue to build your muscle and as you progress from a beginner to an intermediate to advanced to elite. Just pay attention to all those things. Okay, 2 exercises for rear delts that I absolutely fucking love, and you'll see one of them in and you'll see one in every single shoulder workout I've ever posted. Bent over rear delt dumbbell raises or face pulls, and I'll explain both relatively quickly. The rear delt is very small, but my opinion on the rear delt is it's very difficult to hit, okay? Simply because usually when people are doing an exercise for rear delts, they have this crazy long range of motion. And early on in my training career, I was like, man, whenever I'm trying to hit it, I'm doing these rear pec deck flies, but whenever I'm doing them, I feel it more in my back. And I would only feel my rear delts for a short distance, but I do the whole thing. And I'm like, why am I doing this whole long range of motion whenever I only feel it in my rear delt for this far of that range of motion? I was like, I feel like everybody's fucking crazy or I'm crazy. Started just doing my own shit and saying fuck what everybody else is saying, or I'm reading in magazines. I ended up finding that using a heavier weight with a shorter range of motion, okay, I was able to target my rear delts so much better because the muscle group is so small. And if I made a bigger range of motion, I incorporated other muscle groups that I didn't fucking want to, and then it would take away from the rear delt because it's so small and it's not possible to hit all of them in that range of motion. I was like, I just want to focus on the fucking muscle. I'm able to just fucking nasty. I'm able to fucking pull and hit that thing right away just from this small range of motion. And if I did it with a lighter weight, I wasn't able to feel it the same way that I am with a heavier weight. I didn't feel it the same with the 25s or the 40s. And that's why I was like, oh, I feel it, but not as much. I was like, so if I keep going heavier and just targeting the rear delt, it's all hanging there. It's not like I'm, because if I do that, it's on my fucking, it's in my lats. I'm hanging down, I'm able to fucking, that. It's all I'm hitting. You see it start to poke over. Should be right there. It's not, because even though I hit it, but if it's heavier weight or if I'm using a lighter weight, I don't feel it the same. So, heavy weight. And then I looked at it for whenever I hit it most muscular, you can see the rear delt right there pop over from hitting it. You see all 3 heads, front, side, rear. If you just did sides, presses, fronts, you might need to do some face pulls or something just to start to really get that connection and then move into this. You don't have to listen to the trendy internet shit. You can just come in here and fuck off until you get it to grow, because if you, in my opinion, if you just do 2 sets of rear delts, your rear delts ain't gonna fucking grow. And most people's rear delts suck a fat dick. We're doing this to look cool and feel good about ourselves. Let's not get it fucking twisted. We're not the most functional human beings. I mean, I'm functional and fuckable. That's the whole concept of that. Doing the functional training and then doing my bodybuilding training. I want to look cool, feel cool, and actually be functional and fuck with. Now, there's people that will grab these like this. It's not gay. And do face pulls here, okay? And it's great. I feel them, not wrong. There's people that are here, like, and they pull it up. I equate everything to a pose within bodybuilding. I'd lean my head all the way forward, and then I would use some heavier weight and pull back on my rear delts, okay? And I can feel them stretch like fucking crazy, and then I can squeeze the shit out of them. Yeah. I'm pulling a lot with my pinkies. I know you can't see it, but you know, from me being able to feel it. People, when they do their rear double bicep, they throw their arms up, they squeeze down. I look up, okay, it's like I'm pulling. I'm gonna take the rope, I'm gonna pull down, and then pull up. In my head, as I'm doing this, I was like, oh, so if I'm pulling with the rope, it's almost like I'm doing that rear double bicep, and I'm able to get that good connection with all those parts in my shoulder. More sides. And be quick with this one, I promise. Cables in front of the body, behind the body, straight up and down like I am. Like you can see the great pull. You can see the pull that it's getting. Now, you don't have to be a fucking rocket science or a fucking kinesiologist to figure out that this feels different in this position than it does in this position. They don't feel the fucking same. I feel them pull on my shoulder differently. Nobody gives a fuck which way you're doing them as long as you're building a shoulder. That's the great part about bodybuilding and building a physique. What did you do to have great shoulders? Well, I did them this way. Oh, that's wrong. No, it's fucking not. I built my shoulders that way. How you come and where you come to, whether you're coming here, like I said, arm is parallel with the ground. I love it. I feel great tension. I come up so far, like I definitely feel it. Up in this portion, I can feel the squeeze. Down here, when you're here and it's heavier, you'll feel the pull right there at the tip in the insertion between your tricep, your bicep, your brachialis, and your shoulder. If I increase the weight, oh, I immediately feel it there. You can just fucking see it happen, as there's no way I'm getting it up. But I'm like, is that a good rep? No, it's not a fucking good rep. All I'm demonstrating is that you can feel the difference. You see my arms separate as well. You can see it happen. So you wanna find somewhere in between where you can make sure that you're getting that great fucking squeeze from the beginning all the way to the end. But again, you can come up here, okay? And you'll feel it different there. If I get this angle, or I pull out and I lean into it more, now I can, same thing with that front delt, I'm able to get that higher fucking range of motion. I've been beating my shoulder up. Let me switch sides. Where I'm here, how much higher it is? My goal is to give you as many different options to grow your delts. You might get 6, 8 reps and then drop the weight in half and do double the reps. And again, you're just pushing blood, developing, rounding out your physique, giving it that 3-dimensional look. Because we're having fun. Don't overcomplicate it or think that you have to be the prototypical perfect science-based lifter. Let's put more fun into it. More bro needs to go into it. You need to be a fucking dude just having fun, living, and actually building the physique that you want. Because there's no way that you're going to build your physique in the way that you would like to build it if you're listening to everybody else constantly. Shrugs are a tough one. I believe heavy dumbbell shrugs built my traps. Will swear by them till the fucking day I die. But that's not to say that barbell shrugs or Smith machine shrugs do not work. They definitely fucking work. And there's a bunch of different ways. You'll see guys do fucking behind the neck shrugs. That's an old school one. You'll see the shrug bar itself, the one with the bend here in the middle. Great. Heavy barbell shrugs. Loved them. I noticed a crazy amount of development in my traps once I started doing heavy dumbbell shrugs. And heavy is a relative term to where you are at in your program. Like to be able to let them hang. Have that good good stretch, good grip on everything. Again, you don't have to not use fucking wraps. Whenever you get heavy, I suggest you use wraps because we're not working on grip strength. We're working on building your traps to be as big as fucking possible. I'm not perfect on saying we have to just do perfect repetitions. Those are important. I like to make sure I start light, do a couple warm-up sets, and then I'll get into ripping some weight. I'm gonna kind of pull back with my elbows slightly. My arms get a little bit of a bend in them, and I kind of tilt my head forward, and then I take my shoulders and try and jam them up into my ears. You gotta move some heavier weight to get big traps. So I'm gonna be hanging here, and I don't just keep my arms straight. I get a little bend and make sure I'm starting to push back and up, and I try and shove this part of my shoulder into my ear, okay? But if I have the lean forward like this, here, and coming up. Now, whenever I start getting a little heavier, you'll see it more, and I do believe that it's okay to have some rhythm. You know, I'm not cheating where I'm like, you're fucking not doing anything right. That's not true. We're just trying to get as much as we can to get them fuckers up. This is one of my favorite shots. Like in the mirror, lean. This is an old Arnold shot. This is the one that got me obsessed with like the front delts whenever there's an old picture of Arnold leaning over a preacher bench like this, and his fucking shit was just feathering. And I was like, that's the coolest fucking pic I've ever seen, just because I've always found fascination in the front delt. Like that feather that goes on right there, like that's fucking wild. It's like you can see through the skin and actually see the muscle. And whenever you're dieted down and have nothing in you, it's even fucking cooler. This shot in front of the fucking, like leaning over, just exhausted from your workout, and you get a cool pic. Some of my favorite pics of me all the time is just shoulders exploding. Yacked out, trend out of my mind. I love explaining my philosophies and just little tidbits of information on how you can put that into the gym, into your routines just to get a little bit better. because the goal here is to become as the best version of yourself as possible in all aspects of life. And this is one thing that training in the gym has been my shit, just because for decades, I was just in the gym trying new shit and experiencing and developing my physique, helping other people get a little bit better here and there. And that's what, you know, built my YouTube channel. So I hope you guys learned something. I'll put 2 different workouts in the down in the description so that you guys could choose and just try a couple different things. But expect more of this. Whiteboard workouts, explanation videos, and if there's anything else you guys want to see, drop it in there and let me know. Other than that, thank you guys for all the support. Keep being good motherfuckers. Warming up. Give her a good slap. Let her know you love her.